Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. I'm with Oculus Rift Reviews. Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to review DLC. Now, as some of you may know, Arizona Sunshine was one of my favorite games in VR, and it's still one of my nostalgic trips, but I wouldn't call it anymore one of the best games in VR. I'm probably going to change my Arizona Sunshine review just to take that off because it's no longer one of the best VR games. At the time of release, this was the game in VR, and this is truly groundbreaking. It really showed that you can, yes, bring a first-person shooter to VR with a story and with cinematic scenes, and it can work. And congrats to these devs who did that and have worked. Now, on the settings, you can add full locomotion with smooth turning. I remember originally playing this game, I believe it was teleport only, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly. This is a lot of the same fun from Arizona Sunshine, so if you love the game, this DLC is a must-buy, but it is pretty short. It's about an hour long. That's about how long it took me to finish the game. I would say if you buy Deadman DLC, definitely take your time with it. Don't try to speed rush through it. Try to enjoy it as much as possible. My main criticism of the DLC is that it's a little dark, and so the visuals don't really look as good as the main game for that reason. Just because, the dark settings really make the visuals look not as good. And there really is not a part here where it's nice and sunny like most of Arizona Sunshine, where at least the visuals look better. Now, the visuals are not the best anymore. When this game came out, it had some of the best visuals in VR. For me, this was totally mind-blowing. Now playing this again, you kind of see that the visuals are no longer top tier. But it's still better than most VR games, but definitely is no longer the best, no longer groundbreaking. And you see some of the warts in the gameplay, including you clip through several objects, the grab mechanic, the reload mechanic. Those kind of things really stop you from full enjoyment of the game. Those are little issues I wish they would have worked on to make it better. Unfortunately, we're stuck with those little highlight circles around everything. And yeah, that's not a whole lot of fun. Grabbing objects is not fun. Your holster belt just seems like a mess. You do get some new guns in the Deadman DLC, and they're pretty fun to use. I made a mistake. I actually didn't pick up one of the guns. At the very end, you see a handgun again. I didn't want to pick it up because I really liked my submachine gun. That was a big mistake on my part. I lost out on a DLC. I'm sorry, I lost out on an achievement for the DLC. And so definitely don't do that. Definitely use all the guns. It is pretty dark overall, but it's still pretty enjoyable, especially when you do have to use your flashlight. It kind of reminds me of when you go underground in the main game. The story is short, but it's pretty sweet, and it is fun. It just feels like more of Arizona Sunshine, just in a new place, with new guns. There's not any new enemies, unfortunately, so that is kind of a letdown. I was hoping for a brand new enemy type that would have really increased my enjoyment of the DLC. I mean, new guns are nice, but I really like to see a new challenge, and there really isn't. And there is a nice level design, but it's nothing new. Like, you've seen this stuff before if you played the main game. So all in all, it's a nice DLC, but you can see why it's pretty cheap. It's just like they added another level, just using the stuff mostly from the main game. Although this rocket launching scenario is pretty sweet. It is pretty cool when you're down there and you're having to get out within a time limit. I found that pretty fun. Again, because this DLC is pretty cheap, I do recommend it. I think it's a must-get for any Arizona Sunshine fan, but I think it could have been done better. I would have liked to have paid more for higher quality content, especially since it took so long for this DLC to come out after the release of the main game. I would have preferred higher quality content, longer DLC at least 2-3 hours, and I'd have gladly paid a whole lot more. But for $2.49, this is sufficient. My other quibbles with the game is that ladder. If you saw there, it's really easy to run up the ladder over and over again, just the way the game's set up, and it's really a clunky mechanic. I kind of wish they had allowed us to be able to climb up. I think that's what most modern games are, instead of this system they have where you just kind of run up to the ladder and you're automatically either up or down, which I don't like. It's probably one of the worst mechanics from Arizona Sunshine. All in all, though, it's enjoyable. The ending, I don't want to give away too much, but I didn't really like the ending too much, but it was okay. For me, it wasn't as bad as some of the reviewers say, but it is kind of shocking. And so my only spoiler is to prepare yourself for the ending. All in all, I do recommend this if you have the main game. It's a must-buy, and I'm going to rate the DLC a 6.5 out of 10. It just brings more of the same, unfortunately, or fortunately. So if you liked Arizona Sunshine, yeah, this brings out more, but it makes no improvements other than the new guns, and yeah, you can two-hand a weapon. That's basically it. Honestly, two-handing the weapon doesn't feel really good, though, so I don't think that was much of an addition at all. I'm Fast Lawyer. I'm with Oculus Rift Reviews. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.